Chloe Sheehan, Actor 1, 2204.
Chloe Parker, Actor 2, 2124.
Eleanor O'Donnell, 2118, Actor 3.
Ashley Doherty, Actor 4, 2046.
Megan Rat, Actor 5, 2021.
Lucy Emerson, Actor 6, 2051.
Actor 7, Shannon Lombard, 2100.
We won't forget! We won't forgive! 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 The place is the Plaza de Mayo. In English, it means May Square.
The town is Buenos Aires.
And the country is Argentina.
Every Thursday at 3:30 in the afternoon, the women march in the Plaza de Mayo. They march around the Statue of Liberty in front of the Presidential Palace.
We are still resisting! We are still resisting! We are still resisting! We are still resisting!
The mothers of Plaza de Mayo have been meeting and walking here since 1976.
Judgment and punishment! Judgment and punishment! Judgment and punishment! Judgment and punishment! If somebody dies of an illness or an accident, you know what has happened to them. You can have a funeral, say goodbye, and you can grieve.
But if your child just disappears off the face of the earth, it's the cruelest of things. You cannot say goodbye, you cannot have a funeral, and you never find out what truly happened.
In Argentina, between 1986 and 1983, more than 10,000 men, women and children disappeared without trace.
The women who walk in the Plaza de Mayo are the mothers and grandmothers of those who disappeared.
What common criminals made these people disappear?
No common criminals, these criminals are the off-coming kind.
Why didn't they go to the police?
No point, it was the police that did it.
They should have gone to the army.
No point, it was the army.
But what about the government?
Their hands were the dirtiest of all.
My daughter was 14 years old when she was taken. Her name was Monica Gracilia Santucho. She was in the house with two friends. Look out the window! Someone's shooting from the house down the street! The army's shooting back! Why are they doing this? Don't they not want people in there? They're scaring the little ones! My brother's crying! Why are they doing this?
Come on, I'm going to do something!
What? I'm going outside! Don't be so stupid!
The army will be okay!
Go, go, go!
Please! Please stop! You're frightening everyone! Shut up! Please stop! You shoot it off!
On the 3rd of December 1976, at approximately 5:30 p.m., Monica Gracilia Santucho went out into the street with two friends, calling for the shooting to stop. She was seized at once, blindfolded, and put into a white Fiat 600, driven by heavily armed civilians. She was never seen again.
My son was taken on the 9th of November, 1976. He was asleep with his 5-year-old son and his wife when he was awoken by a loud explosion.
What was that? I'll go see.
My son got out of bed, opened the front door and saw 2 men jumping over the fence. They carried rifle and wore civilian clothing. 2 of the men burst in the front door.
You, stand where you are. What are you doing? You woman, turn your back. And Brat, turn his face away. You, cover that. But I've done nothing. No! No! No!
The neighbours say that my son was forced into a Ford Falcon car. This was the last I heard of him.
My granddaughter, whose name is Paula, was only 23 months old when she was taken. In May 1978, a group of heavily armed men burst into the home of my son and his wife. Their names were Claudia and Monica Gales. They took all 3 of them.
Many people were arrested and completely disappeared. We had to find out what happened to our children.
We knocked on doors. We tried police stations. Excuse me, officer, I'm seeking the whereabouts of my son. I think he's been arrested.
I'm sorry, madam. I know nothing about him. It's not my department. Why don't you try the area police station? They might know something.
Thank you, I will.
Sorry, madam, he's not in our records. Maybe you should try the local police station.
But I've just been there.
Have you tried the Ministry of the Interior?
No.
You should try it there. Maybe they'll know something.
Thank you, I will. No, sorry, we have nothing in our records. Have you tried the police station?
Yes.
I should try there again if I were you. Excuse me, I'm seeking the whereabouts of my son. I think he's been arrested.
I know nothing. Not my department. Try the area station.
Where is my son? He's been arrested.
I know nothing. Not my department.
Where's my daughter? She's been arrested. I know nothing. Not my department. Where's my son? He's been arrested.
I know nothing, not my department.
Where's my daughter? She's been arrested.
I know nothing, not my department.
Where are our children?
Have you tried the hospitals and the prisons?
Yes. We've tried everywhere. No one will tell us anything.
Psst.
Yes.
It isn't good to keep asking questions.
You don't want to be troublemakers.
We don't like troublemakers.
Maybe something might happen to you. Who knows? There were lots of us. We kept bumping into each other in the same police stations in the ministry. We had to do something.
We didn't know what to do. No one paid us any attention, but we were together and there was comfort in our solidarity. We agreed to meet every Thursday at 3:30, be a constant reminder to the government, a thorn in their side.
We arranged to meet somewhere obvious, somewhere we all knew. The Plaza de Mayo seemed the best place, outside the palace of the president.
The movement grew bigger. Soon there were 60 or 70 of us. But then the police came.
You can't sit here. What you're doing is illegal. You can't sit here. Move! March!
They hit us with their truncheons, then with their best fists.
In the beginning of October, we organised a huge march along with 1 million children.
There'll be so many children. We asked ourselves, how are we going to stand out? There'll be so many children.
We could put a triangular shawl on our heads.
A triangular shawl, what colour?
White. Like a nappy. Something in memory of our children.
And so from that day, the white headscarves became our badge, our emblem.
They arrested 300 of us.
But they couldn't make 300 of us disappear. The world's press had seen us.
We were the mothers that prayed there in the square.
Dear God, deliver us from these murderers. You cannot detain mothers, not mothers who pray when the world's press is watching.
Then one day, they took their revenge, and 3 of the mothers disappeared, along with 2 nuns who had been helping us.
It was a dangerous time for us.
We won't forget!
We won't forgive!
We won't forget!
We won't forgive! We won't forget!
We won't forgive!
We are still resisting.
We are still resisting.
We are still resisting!
people chose to disappear, you can disappear because
You're a rebel who planted bombs.
You were suspected of being sympathetic to one of the rebels.
Hi, I'm Marie.
Hi, I'm Maria. Your name was similar to someone else who was sympathetic.
Your name is in a suspect's address book.
You're a journalist or a social worker working among the poor people in a slum.
You were a lawyer asking too many questions.
You said the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Someone gave them your name. Or you was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
In May 1977, a young Swedish girl, Dagmar Helgen, was taken by mistake.
Why were people being made to disappear?
the story started with guerrilla war. In 1976, a group called the Monteros started waging guerrilla war. They were planting bombs and killing people every day.
On March 24, 1976, the civilian government of Eva Peron was overthrown by the military. George Rafael Videla was made president, and the new government was determined to destroy the guerrillas.
It is a crime to say anything at all against the army. We will create a whole new society to meet the needs of the nation. This plan will be called the Process of the National Reorganisation, or El Proceso. Political crimes will be punishable by death. I have a question. What's a political crime? That's easy. A political crime is anything we say it is. In other words, if you're not on our side, we will kill you.
First we kill the superlatives, then their collaborators, after anyone who sympathises with them, and then anyone who remains indifferent, and finally the undecided. General Ivaro G, Governor of Buenos Aires Province.
So now we know. The government killed anyone it did not like.
Where did the disappeared go?
Few were released and bodies were rarely found.
And gradually, over the years, the truth about what happened to the disappeared has been revealed.
As part of El Precio's plan, the military government created 360 detention centres. Each detention centre had its own task force to process and kidnap the victims.
Where did the men, women and children go that were sent to these detention centres?
Bound, gagged and blindfolded, they were taken to the detention centre. Immediately, they were handcuffed and a bag was placed over their head. Their handcuffs were never removed and the bag was only lifted while eating.
However long they spent in these detention centres, they could never see what was happening to them. They could only hear and they could only feel.
Everyone, without exception, who went to detention centres was tortured.
Argentinian army officers were sent to learn how to torture people in a school in Palma. This was run by the government of the United States of America.
Come in, class. Sit down. The colonels are the best. Stop messing about, please. Now, be quiet, all of you. Today's lesson is on torture techniques to extract information. Yes, I know we've done this before. This is revision. No, we're not having a practical session today. We'll have our next lesson. Now, pay attention, all of you. Before getting down to the main business, it's best to soften up your clients. Now, who can remember how we do that? You, your hand up. That's right, we give them a good beating with a hard rubber truncheon. Well done, Colonel.
Now we get down to business. To equip an intensive therapy room, we need an iron bedstead without a mattress, a bathtub, and a barrel filled with water. Battery-operated field telephone, you know the what's up? The faster you turn the handle, the higher the voltage. I know it's a lot of effort turning the handle, but it's worth it.
Then you will need 2 electric cattle prods, one of 125 volts and one of 220 volts. And what's the difference? Come on, I did this last month. It's in the notes I gave out. Okay, I'll tell you again, and this time listen. The 125 volt prod causes involuntary muscle movements and pain all over the body.
While the 220 volt prod causes violent, painful contractions as though limbs are being torn off the body. Remember the difference. There's usually a question about this in the exam. It is standard practice to have a doctor on hand. You don't want the clients to expire before you're done with them, do you?
Now, when you do practical sessions, we recommend the following techniques. Please write them down, as we all know they're certain to come up in the exam. Technical term 1, the grill. This is the application of electric shocks to the soft tissue of the client's body. Now, we won't go into too much detail. We can all use our imaginations, can't we? Besides, we cover this in biology.
Technical term 2, the wet submarine. You immerse the client's head into the water until you nearly drown.
Technical term 3, the dry submarino. It's like a wet submarino, except you use a plastic bag.
Any questions? If the client still refuses to talk, well, in that case we recommend the burial. The client is buried up to their necks in the outdoors without food or water until they talk. Or, if that fails, we recommend you try all the above techniques on their relatives. Any questions? Class dismissed. And then what?
The disappeared had to disappear permanently. They had to be disposed of.
Many were shot and buried in unmarked mass graves.
Many were drugged, taken in planes high over the Atlantic Ocean, and thrown alive into the sea.
We are the voices of the disappeared. We have flown through the sky, a cold rush of air on our faces. We float in the ocean, steams with the fishes. We speak with the words. We are the voices of the disappeared. Speak of us! Keep us alive in your memories!
And what of the children?
Over 350 children have been taken. This is not on count of how many women have given birth in the detention centres.
Many were adopted by the same police and army officers who had been involved in killing their parents. Some children were just sold, and some children were given to childless couples.
Case of Paula Lagares.
Paula Lagares was taken in May 1977. She was taken together with her parents. She was only 23 months old.
In April 1908, the mothers received an unmarked packet.
What's in the packet?
Open it.
It's photos.
Oh, let me see. It looks like my granddaughter Paula. She's older, but I can still recognise her.
It has an address on it. She says she's living with a man called Ruben. A man.
Then they received more information.
She's so beautiful.
Excuse me, I have something to tell you. I was a guard at the detention centre where your son and daughter were killed. I didn't do anything, I was just a guard. But I know this man, Lavin. He was a very bad man, very sadistic. He enjoyed his work.
Well, yes, go on.
He took your granddaughter and adopted her as his own child.
This is terrible. The man who pretends to be Paula's father tortured her true mother and father. I have to get her back.
Times are changing and people of Argentina are finding out about the disappeared.
We'll go to the courts. Your Honour, I know this is my granddaughter. I have recognised her. My husband have recognised her. My whole family have recognised her.
Your Honour, this is not true. She is my daughter, and she has always been my daughter.
These people have made this fantastic story up.
Recognition, evidence, not enough. Need more proof. Case dismissed.
In 1984, we got a court order to get a blood sample from Paula. The test came back and showed that the child truly was my granddaughter Paula. Your Honour, we have clear proof. I know this is my granddaughter, and we want her back.
Your Honour, I accept that she is not my daughter. I accept everything that they say is true. But you cannot give this girl to these people. They are strangers to her. She remembers nothing of her time before us.
My husband and I have brought her up as our own. We are all she knows. To remove her from us would be more traumatic than to let her stay.
I agree. Case dismissed.
In November 1984, the grandmother took the case to the Supreme Court of Argentina. Your Honour, we wish to make the following points.
This man, who pretends to be Paula's father, was involved in the murder of her true mother and father.
The murder of Paula Lagares and many of others is no secret anymore. She'll eventually learn the truth. She'll learn the truth of a young adult that she's been raised by murderers. This will be far traumatic than learning it right away. Kidnapping is a crime, even if it remains 6 years to solve.
To fail to prosecute crimes, even if the child in the individual case is not harmed, is to grant immunity to criminals who prey on children.
In December 1984, the Supreme Court ordered that Paula be returned to her grandparents.
When Paula returned home with her grandmother, to the house she had not seen since she was a 2-year-old, she turned left, entered her bedroom, looked at the bed she used to sleep in and asked,
Where's my teddy bear?
The case of Paula Lagares is only one of many.
Today, Argentina is a democratic country with an elected government, but many of those involved in the torture and the murder of the disappeared still go unpunished, which is why every Thursday the mothers walk around the Plaza de Mayo at 3:30. We won't forget! We won't forget!